SSM certification is for you, right? Now, once you are DASSM certified and you are working in the project and you feel like moving ahead, what next? So there can be two tracks for you. With suppose 6-8 years of experience you have in Agile projects, you are very confident, you are becoming the leaders in Agile project management, then the two tracks are there for you. The first track will take you towards business transformation disciplined Agile coach certification. These are for senior people who have good amount of experience in Agile projects. Okay. Now you might be thinking, what is this disciplined Agile, right? So disciplined Agile is a toolkit which will help you to have an overview of the entire Agile project management thing. You can consider it as a toolbox. Suppose you are a mechanic. Okay, you are a mechanic. Just imagine that you are a mechanic and you need to fix a car or a motorcycle. What are all the things you need to fix a car? Think about the toolkit. You need a spanner, you need screwdriver, you need some pneumatic wrenches and all those things you need, right? So that you can rectify the mistake, detect the mistake, and all those things. You need some kind of sophisticated electronic devices also. Similarly, disciplined Agile is a toolkit for Agile project managers. So depending upon the type of the project, they can pick and choose what are the different items which are applicable to the project, and they can use it. So it's a big framework. You can Google it. We will not go into detail of this. Okay. So this is where the PMI ACP fits into the entire spectrum of certifications for Agile professional offered by Project Management Institute. Okay. Moving on to the eligibility criteria. This is the basic eligibility criteria is the education level. Most of us, we have this. Then we need at least 12 months of general project management experience and 8 months of Agile project management experience. Once you have these two things, that is not enough. What we need to show is a certificate which will help you to demonstrate that you have taken 21 hours of training on Agile practices. I repeat, training on Agile practices. It is not mandatory that you take training on PMI ACP body of knowledge. There is no restriction on that. Okay. You need to have a training of different types of training are available on Agile practices. You can take any of those. Okay. At the end of the training, if you are getting certificate, that is valid. Okay. With these three things in mind, you need to follow the process to apply for the exam and get certified. And the process is start with the why. Why do you want PMI ACP? If you are convinced that yes, PMI ACP is the certification for you, congratulations, you have already cleared the step 1. Step 2 is to apply for the job, apply for the certification, and to apply, you need to first check the eligibility. So if you are eligible, congratulations, you can go and apply and fill the form to apply, right? Once you hit the submit button in the application page, you need to wait for 5 to 7 days. And depending upon the approval, if you get the approval from the PMI, you can pay the fees and schedule your exam. Okay, so you need to pay the fees first, and then there is a flexibility to schedule the exam. So you need not to schedule the exam right now, the moment when you are paying the fees. Okay, so in that case, it means that you have two options to do. So you pay the fee now and prepare for the exam, and you have about 365 days window. So in 1 year, you prepare for the exam, get convinced that you will get the certification in the first attempt, and then book a exam date and take the exam. The second option can be schedule the exam, means take the date and then work backward. So now you have a date, you have time boxed your preparation. So when you have time boxed your preparation, you cannot procrastinate it, right? You have to do it anyway. Otherwise, the money is at stake, right? So money is very, very powerful incentive to push you to do anything, right? So you have two things to do. So you pick and choose whatever works for you. In my case, I prepared for the exam. I paid all the things, and then I prepared for the exam. And then when I felt that I am confident to take the exam, I booked the date within 1 week of the thing, when I was about to take the exam, and I took the exam and got certified. Okay. So the last step is to get certified. You can take the exam at the exam center or online. So both the options are available. For me, exam center works better. So that's great. Okay. If you think that no, exam center is difficult, who will go to that center? Center is far away. Then in that case, you can take exam online at your home or office. Exam is of 3-hour duration, and there is no breaks in between. Plus, the exam would be designed in such a way that you can go back and forth to the question. So if you have answered a question and you feel that this question you need to revise, you can flag it also. But in my case, based on my experience, I am sharing that I flagged about 50% of the question, or even more, about 60% of the question. And at the end of the exam, I had only 10 minutes left to revise those questions. So I didn't revise anything. I practically revised only 1 or 2 questions, and then I submitted. And I got above target score in all of the 7 domains. Okay. So the thing is that it is better that those features are just ornamental features. It is better not to rush. Think about the problem, think about the situation, and pick the best response, whichever you feel like. Okay. About the fees, for members and non-members, the difference in fees only 2,000 to 3,000 rupees. So, but there is a benefit of becoming a member first and then taking up the certification pay. Okay. So if you are becoming the member first, what are the benefits you are getting? First, you are getting the discount in subsequent certifications. So suppose today I am already PMI ACP certified. Tomorrow I want DASSM certification. So I will get that certificate, the discount on that certification, right? Second thing, what I get is I get an access to the entire body of knowledge for project managers, project professionals, which are offered from PMI. So you can go and join PMI PMI community in your cities, and you have access to newsletters and all those things. Okay. So there are benefits of becoming member. About the content, there are 7 domains. Yeah. Any questions?
The previous slide. The previous slide. Yes.
Yeah.
This membership fee, is it like annually or it's a one-time membership fee?
It is annual.
Oh, it's annual 13,000 rupees.
Annual 13,000 rupees. Yes.
Okay. And for exam, it's 25,000 rupees. Means
Yes.
what is this validation of this certificate? It's like 1 year, 3 years,
3 years.
or lifetime?
It is valid for 3 years, and then after 3 years you need to renew it.
Okay. During renewal, we need to again take the exam, or it's just payment?
No. It is not exam. You need to get some PDUs. So okay. PDUs, about 30 PDUs you need to get. PDUs means you need to attend some training programs. No need to again means no need to take the exam again. You need to just attend some trainings.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So coming on to the content, there are 7 domains in PMI ACP, means you will be tested on 7 domains. And in each domain, you have to develop the knowledge and skills, and you need to know the tools and techniques to execute the tasks. Okay. What are those 7 domains? These are the 7 domains which we will cover. What I practically do is I cover 1 domain per day or per session. But based on my past experience, I have realized that 1 day may not be sufficient for some of the domains. Like for value-driven delivery stakeholders, 1 day is not sufficient. So we may, the duration may spill over to the next day. Okay. So that is why practically the entire PMI ACP session should culminate in 8 sessions of 3 hours each, but typically it extends to 10 sessions of 3 hours each. Okay. So whatever is the case, I am there to help you, and in any scenario. Okay. So these are the domains. What you need to know is the top 4 domains. The first 4 domains would give you an overview of what is happening in an agile project, and the last 3 domains would drill deeper into the agile project management. It will answer you the nitty-gritties, okay, of the project. So we will talk about these domains in details in subsequent sessions. So I'm just skipping it. The reality of the exam is that it is not a difficult exam, and this is a popular myth. So in my friend circle, also in my community, also in my network, I always feel that people are hesitating to take this PMI ACP certification. And when I decided to take this certification, people recommended me not to take this certification. Okay, but they feel that it's a memory test. And actually there is a reason for it. The reason is that most people relate PMI ACP with PMP. So PMP and PMI ACP are 2 different things you need to be very, very clear about. PMP, the first major difference is that when we talk about PMP or Project Management Professional Certification from PMI, it has certain assumptions to take, or the entire exam is built on certain assumption. And the assumption is that you are project manager in a large organization. Your number of stakeholders in your organization, in your project, is at least 50. And when we are talking about PMI ACP, the entire assumption is completely opposite. The assumption is that you are working in a small project, small agile project, with the total number of members or stakeholders are roughly maximum is 12. So when you have a small team to manage, you don't need frameworks. You need personal touch. And once you need personal touch, there is nothing to memorize, right? So people generally relate it to the PMP certification, and they feel that, okay, PMP needs a lot of note making and all those things, a difficult task, heavy lifting. And so PMI ACP would also require heavy lifting. No, it is not the fact. Okay. So it is not a memory test. That is the first thing that you need to remember. Second thing is that nobody has asked you to spot the correct answer. You have a situation and you are a business person. Okay. A non-business person is never going to take this examination. You are a business person. You are working on projects. And in that project, there is a situation you need to manage. So what is the decision you need to take? Decision cannot be right or wrong. Decision can be better or best. So you need to take the best decision in the given situation, not the correct answer, right? And it is not a difficult examination at all. So if you have any iota of doubt in your mind, go and see my LinkedIn profile and you will find out that when I can do it, you can also do it. Okay. A test of application of knowledge. So it will push you again and again to apply whatever you have learned in your training program, or by reading the books, or through your experience. Can you apply those things in the situation or not? If yes, you can, good to go. If no, then probably you will struggle to get the certification. Okay. You need to pick the best answer, and the exams are based on situational awareness. Okay. So based on my experience of the exam and my experience talking to different people who have taken the exam, my students as well, okay, and my research, I could summarize the types of questions which are available or which you can expect in the exam. And these are the 4 types. Okay. And we will take examples of each one of them, and I will ask you to solve those questions right now. Okay. So the first one is situational awareness. So you have a dinosaur and you need to spot it and take the right reaction. React to this dinosaur. Okay, situation and reaction. Second is, are you familiar with the agile terminologies or not? If you're not, sorry, you will not be able to get through. Can you extract the key information? The PMI ACP questions are not one-liner. If at all you are getting one-liner mock test questions, just skip it. Do not waste your time, because PMI ACP questions are not one-liner. It will give you wordy questions. So you can imagine, if you have ever taken a Pearson test, so you can imagine the width of the screen, and in that width of the screen you have at least 2 to 3 lines of questions, and at least mostly 2 lines of option choices as well. So if you are not able to read the entire thing and extract key information, again you will just miss the thing, miss the point, okay, and make mistakes. And finally, you need to visualize alternative application of the concept. When I say alternative application of the concept, expect to see the situation which you have never experienced before. Expect to see the situation which you have never experienced before. Nobody has discussed about it. And that is why PMI ACP is so much worthy of praise. Okay. So it will push you to apply your knowledge in a new situation. Can you do it? If yes, you will pass through with flying colors. So here's the question number 1. I will wait for some time, and don't give me the answer. Just put yes, you are ready, or something, anything which will move me to the next slide of discussion. Okay. Read this question and try to understand what this question is all about. Situation awareness question, right? So what is the situation? Can anybody tell me the situation? What is the situation in the question? I have deliberately moved to the next slide. So can you remember the situation?
Yes.
Yeah, what is the situation?
So a new project is being kickstarted, and for this new project, the project lead has taken the decision to have iteration 0.
Okay, so the situation is this: you are a project lead in a new project. Okay, and what is the decision you need to take?
Implement iteration 0.
Yes, implement or suggest iteration 0 or not. Okay, so this is the situation and this is the decision you need to take. Okay, so if you just extract the key information, this is only this much is there written in the question. Okay, and then you need to know the terminologies, otherwise you will not be able to answer this question. If any of you do not know what are these iteration 0 and ID and all those things, this questions probably you will get it wrong. Okay, so you need to know what is iteration 0, ID, POC, and project pre-mortem. All these things you need to know. Okay, so this is the requirement to answer this question correctly. Once you read through the question option choices, you will find that the 2 option choices you can very easily eliminate. So, but you can eliminate only these 2 only if you know the terminologies. Now you have 2 option choices, option A and option C. Which one has the potential to become the best answer, or the best decision, or the best reason to take the decision? The one with greater detail, right? So which one has the greater detail? A. So the answer is A. Okay, any question?
One question from my side.
Okay.
So option A is fine, but even on the terminologies, I am not aware of iteration 0 and project pre-mortem also. At least ID and POC I am aware of. So when starting iteration 0, the first thing is like whether the user stories are detailed out correctly or not to kickstart the project, so that team understands like what exactly need to be developed. So if details are missing, then how did the project itself kickstarted?
So I I would like to differ from your opinion. What you are saying that you need to have a detailed understanding of the project before you can start a project, agile project. This is a wrong notion. This itself is a wrong notion. Agile project depends on coarse grain or high level planning itself, only high level planning. So you don't need any detailed understanding of the project to start the project. That is the first thing. Okay, so we will talk about this in greater detail. So let's move. I'm just or let us take this discussion offline, because it will delay the entire session. Okay, so the first thing is that agile project does not require any detailed planning. Okay, so it is detailed planning is required in traditional project management. In agile project management, we rely on rolling wave planning and progressive elaboration. Okay, so we'll talk about it in subsequent sessions. So let's move ahead. So the essence of this discussion on this slide is you should be able to understand or pick the situation and identify the decision you need to make, and you should be able to identify the terminologies which are related to agile project management. So iteration 0 is specific to agile project management. IDE is related to software development. So if you know these things, then it is easier for you to answer the question. Here is the second question. Read the question and then let me know once you're ready. This question is mostly about extracting your ability to extract the key information hidden in the question. So what is the situation here? There are many situations given, right? Because the question does not tell you any situation. The situations are given in the option choices. Okay. And what is the decision you need to take? You need to identify the type 1 mistake. That is the decision or the choice that you need to take. Okay. And what is this type 1 mistake? You don't know, right? But the question is not testing your concept of type 1 mistake. The question is testing your ability to detect type 1 mistakes. So the question has already explained you what it is. Okay, definition is given. Why it is given? Try to understand. It is given because the intention is not to test your memory. The intention is to test your ability to recognize pattern. Okay, so the definition of type 1 mistake is already given. Now, when you see the answer choices, you can eliminate the third one. The answer is A and B. Okay, I am deliberately not discussing the questions in detail because the idea is to just tell you the mindset, to build your mindset to approach PMI ACP questions. Okay, the intention is not to solve these problems. These questions you will see in the quizzes in the relevant sections of the training program. Okay, question number 3, understanding of PMI ACP terms. Do you understand the terms or not? Here is the question.
Yes, Srivan.
Okay, so in this question, what is the situation? The situation is that the requirements of the project is not clear. Okay, what is the decision? Decision you need to take is which tool can help build a shared vision for the product. Which tool can help build shared vision for the product among the team members? This is the decision. You need to pick a tool. So first of all, you need to know the tool, right? And these tools you need to know. So when you know the tool, you can clearly identify that the answer is B. Very simple, straightforward question. Again, these type of questions would be there, but very few, only 1 or 2, not more. Okay. So this question depends only on your understanding of the terms, whether you know the term canon analysis, speedboat, personas, wireframes. Do you know this or not? The last one. Okay.
Yeah, sure.
Done. Okay. So in this, again, what is the situation? You are a product owner, right? What is the decision? How to deliver timely and consistent value to the customer. This is a decision you need to take. You need to think about it. It's the very, very important question for any product owner, right? Okay. So what you need to do is the second level of thinking. You know about value. Do you really know about the value? What is value? How it can be consistent? Is value talking means when you talk about value, is it the dollar value? Or is it the savings on the dollar value? Okay. So these things you need to clearly understand. So when you can have the alternative definitions of some term or some concept, alternative understanding of the term, you can identify the pattern easily. And in this, you can clearly identify, once we talk about the value, that the correct answer is D, all of the above. Okay. So these are the types of questions you will most probably see in the exam. So with this, let's see how you can pass the exam. Okay, my tips to you to pass the exam in the first attempt. Okay. So know the material. Okay. Know the material, relate it with your experience, and then visualize scenarios and make as many questions as you can. I made more than 250 questions before I took the exam. I wrote questions. When you try to sit down and write questions, you will struggle to make option choices, because in a given situation, you are pushed to think about correct decision, possibly correct decision, and incorrect decision. So all the three scenarios you need to think in a given situation, and it will be the best practice ever. Okay. So these are the things I recommend. Know the material. High level understanding is enough, because whatever we will discuss during the training program is at least 60% more than what is required to pass the exam. 60% more. Okay. What you don't need to do is to take stress, follow a lot of advice, and do not study a lot. Think a lot. I repeat, think a lot. How I can help you? I will provide you the basic thing which is available, which is the market standards that I will definitely do for you. On the top of it, it's a iterative cycle. This training program does not end with the 5-day or 10-day sessions. Okay. It ends with your certificate. Once you are certified, the program ends. Okay. But the relationship again does not end there itself. Okay. So once you are enrolled, you can attend as many revision classes as you want, as many iterative training programs you want. Everything is free for you. So once you enroll, you can get assured or be assured that I will be there until you get certified. Okay. So this is the advantage of the growth story. So with this, I have come to the first break. I don't know how much time we have. Just give me 1 second. Okay, great. So now I'm switching gears. Now I will not talk. I expect you to talk, right? So it is about mindset again. So now we are we will dive into the agile mindset. So it's about attitude. I would like you to share your attitude towards certain business problems. How would you feel about it? What would be your approach to solve this problem? Problem number 1. You are a business unit head. Think from a business owner. Think from a person who is responsible for the P&L. Think from the perspective of a person who is answerable to the shareholders of the company. You are that person. Okay. Once you are that person, you need to understand the business scenario and take a decision. I am telling you the business scenario, you will help me to take the decision. The objective is to maximize profit. I repeat, not revenue, it is profit. Profit is revenue minus cost. Okay. So minimize cost and maximize revenue. Then you will get maximum profit. When you have the objective of maximizing the profit, you have this business in hand. The business requires sampling. And these samples needs to be turned in just 3 days. Otherwise, you will lose the order. So your business requires some kind of sampling before you get the order, and that sample need to be delivered in just 3 days. Okay. Now the complex part. Sampling is not easy. Your process for sampling has very high variability. Once you see the sample, you don't know how to make it. So your team need to think about it, brainstorm about the process, and then arrive at some iterations. They will do some trials, and then probably they will match it. Second complexity, the number of different variations of samples that you will receive is infinite. So you cannot just keep a record of it simply and expect to see the same sample again in 1 month. No, probably in years you will not get the same sample again. Okay. So from the requirement side, high variability. From the process side, very high variability. Okay. Now, to add to this complexity, once you have made a sample in 3 days, and you are lucky that the customer has accepted it, then also you are not sure whether you will be able to repeat the process and fulfill the order or not. Okay. The surety is not there. It is, think of it like a painting. Can you make the same painting again, which you have made exactly same true copy by hand? No, you cannot. This copy paste thing has made our life very simple, but this copy paste is unfortunately not available in our life. Okay. So you cannot simply copy paste things. Now, what will you do? Think about it and tell me the answer. What will you do to maximize the profit? Think from the people versus process perspective. Think from people versus process perspective and share your idea.
I'll find the best people.
Okay. You will find best people.
Best
Okay.
people means, yeah.
Okay.
To complete this task or to start this task.
Okay. So Mitesh is saying that he will try to get best people. Can you see this? I'm writing something. Can you see it?
Yes. Yes, we can see.
Okay. So what other option? What you will do? Anybody else? Please contribute. If you feel uncomfortable to talk, you can type in the chat box as well. That is also okay. Not an issue.
I will try to analyze or investigate whether these kind of scenarios are already done by anyone else, and I'll try to Google it or gain knowledge from others.
Okay. Sorry. Okay. So research.
Yeah, in one word,
Okay.
yes, research.
Research or / Google. What to do? Ask Google. Okay.
Take
Yeah,
help from subject matter experts.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. SME. Okay. What else?
Not sure this is right, but I will share the vision with the team.
You will share the vision with the team. Okay.
Yeah, but I'm business head, so I'm not sure about it.
So what is the problem in that? Business head is allowed to share the vision, right? So share vision.
Okay.
Okay, with team. Okay. What else?
Keeping minimal process of sampling, which can
Minimal?
be repeatable.
Sorry, minimal what?
Minimal templates of sampling creation.
Lightweight process.
Oh,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
which can be repeatable.
Okay. Lightweight process. Okay. Great. Now, can you, if somebody else would like to talk, please talk. Or just to save time, we will move ahead. Okay, because there are 4 of these type of questions. Any other input? Okay, great. So now you can see this is called the mindset. This is called the attitude. This is called the unconscious response to a situation or subconscious response to a situation. This is a situation. In this situation, we as a team of about 10 people here are gravitating towards people. Best people, SME is a people, shared vision with team is a people. Okay, we are gravitating towards people. Lightweight process. We are not talking about standardization, automation. Okay, high-tech solutions. Nobody has talked about it. Why? Because that is not suitable in this case, right? In this business, it is not suitable. So in this situation, the best thing to do is to hire the best minds, upskill them, and make sure that they are empowered to take decisions. Okay, and they are motivated and aligned to the common objective of maximizing profit. What is the shared vision? Aligning them that, hey, if you perform better, you will get better incentive and the business will grow and you will get better incentive, right? So it's like linking the chain. Great. This is mindset number 1, that we need to focus, or Agile mindset talks about that preference to people and interaction and not to processes, because processes are not reliable in uncertain situations. When the variability is high, people will innovate things to pull you out of that danger. It is not the process, because processes are dead. Okay. Scenario number 2. In this scenario, you are a marketing agency head. So you are a very creative person and you have a marketing agency to run, right? And at the same time, you are a business owner also. Okay. Just imagine like that. So mix of those things. So this agency has got a very interesting opportunity. A client who is just launching a product in the market, and he is looking for a marketing partner to run marketing campaigns for the product. The product is new. Nobody has ever thought about this product. Think about iPod 20-30 years back, or whenever iPod was launched. I think around 2000, right? So new product in the market. Nobody has seen it ever before. But the thing is that people also never realize that this kind of product can be possible in the market. So there is a latent need. People will know only if they see it. And once they see it, it will be an instant hit. So this is kind of a situation, right? In this situation, you know the potential is very high. If you can perform well, you are sure to get repeat business. And you are sure to get highlighted in the market also about your potential to launch this kind of products. Okay. So not only with the same client, but with the various potential clients, there is a huge opportunity. Okay. Now you tell me, what will you do before you take up the project, in terms of, because any project is a business project, so you need to have some kind of contracts. Think about the contracts perspective, about the cost perspective. How will you measure the cost, or how will you evaluate the how much to bid for this contract? What will be your thought process? Okay, what will be the thought process? One thought process is very simple. Think about the default thing. You are a marketing company. The first thing, suppose you are a digital marketing company. I have a startup, the growth story startup. I approach you. I will give you a requirement. Hey, I want to build my website, the growth story website. So what will you do? You will feel that, okay, give him a quote. Okay. So the first thing is, bhai itna rupiya lagega, karna ho to karo. The first thing is about money. Okay. And the money comes into the picture very quickly. When you see the money, the people will back out. Okay. There is no guarantee of the product. As a business owner, I will feel that, okay, my requirement may change. Okay. As a service provider, you will feel that, okay, my cost may go up. So in most of the situation, what happens is there is a lack of trust. What you will do in this situation? This situation, very similar situation. Marketing campaign needs to be designed. The people who have manufactured the goods, they don't know what to tell about the product. Every day there are thousands of products launched in the market. But why do we need marketeers? Why do we need marketing campaign specialists? Because the OEM does not know what to tell. So if you rely on the OEM to give you the requirements, then probably he will simply say, "Bhai, this is the product, you need to market it. I don't know anything else about it. If you want the technical thing, I will tell everything. If you want me how to market, what to tell, I don't know." Right? So what is your approach in this situation?
Again, research what is
Okay.
need of the user or in market.
Research. Okay. What else? Think from the contract or collaboration point of view. Would you like to collaborate or not?
Yes, I need to collaborate with the client and get the ideas as much as possible.
Let's collaborate, you will say. You will be positive about it or not? Because you see there is a huge potential. You feel that, okay, let's collaborate. When the client would talk about money, what you will do? You will be fixed or rigid about it, or you will be flexible about it?
Flexible.
Okay. Okay. Any other thoughts?
Where in the initial stage, expecting a minimum margin.
Yes.
Am I
yes.
audible? Yeah. So in the initial, we'll have a license agreement kind of thing, so that in the initial stages, we'll expect a minimum margin, and going forward, when the business gets expanded, the margin get increased. So that's how we'll try to have a agreement kind of thing, so that he'll not use the contract when the project is successful.
Right. So kind of variable compensation type of thing. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. What else?
So I will try to understand from the client, when the client has innovative product, what is the target segment that he has prepared this innovative product,
okay,
based on his expertise?
Yes. So again, it comes back to collaboration. So you will collaborate with the client to get more information, whatever is available. So he will share with you all the things. So once you are ready to work, then definitely you will share the details about the project, about the target segment, about the market, everything you will share. So you are talking about collaboration, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe I'll go with the agreement where I would like to, stake on the number of units sold. So
Okay.
I hope you're getting my point.
Okay. So number
So
of
it's
units
1,000
sold.
units,
Okay. Very,
and I'll
very,
getting
very good.
a
Very good.
margin on each unit. Yeah.
Okay. So kind of again, it comes to a variable compensation. So different innovative ways or
Yes.
innovative ways to compensate.
Yeah, just because this is first in the market, so I'm also not sure as a marketing
Yes.
campaign and as the company that how much maybe it will go, good also and bad also. So if it
Right.
goes both ways, yeah, I'll have my share.
Right. Okay. Great. So all these are again interesting points. So it is again going back to thing is that you as a marketing agency would like to take this contract. You understand that this contract is not easy. You would like the OEM to collaborate with you and share as much information as he or she can, and in frequent intervals. So it is not like once the contract is awarded and then you see whatever you want to do, you do. And I just want result. No. So it is like collaboration, working together for a common goal. And that common goal is to get the product launched in the market, in the target segment, in the target market, and becoming and making it a hit. Okay. So this is again a mindset. So the people or the businesses who have this kind of collaborative mindset, and I'm talking about both sides. It is not only one side. So when I am rigid about I'm too much defensive about my interest, probably I will not get any supplier. If the supplier is too much defensive about their interest, probably he or she may not get any contract. So the thing is, there has to be a win-win agreement, and that is where this innovative ways of compensation comes into picture. And we will talk about it, how Agile very beautifully takes into or captures this particular aspect of Agile contracts. So we have innovative ways of contracts, how the contract should be designed for Agile projects. It is not simple as, it is not straightforward as and just one-to-one of what it is done in the traditional projects. Okay, we will talk about it in subsequent sessions. Scenario number 3. Okay, you are a product sponsor. Okay, what is your intention as a product sponsor? Just 1 minute, let me. Anyway, okay. So as a product sponsor, you are more focused about the success of the project. Okay, the project is giving the right kind of return on investment or not. You are more concerned about that. Okay, so assume that you are a senior person in a business, and you have envisaged a product and got the approval. You advocated the product in the among the board of directors, and you got the approval, and now you are driving this Agile project to build that product. Once you are driving that Agile project, you have built a team, and you have been in touch with the team because you are concerned about the product. Okay, and you are fairly satisfied with the progress of the team. Now, when the release is due in, say, 2 weeks, what would you like to see in the release? The first thing that you would like to see in the release is what? Is it the documentation, or is it a working software? Is it a demonstration? Sorry? Somebody said something. product, right? So we would like to, as a sponsor, you would like to see the product first. Show me the product. How is it working? Is it what I have envisaged or not? Right. So this happens not only in the software industry, but in all the industry. Think about now, just replace the product sponsor and put a business head in that position. Okay. Or a functional head in that position. What is his objective? Is he more interested to see fancy reports, or he or she would be interested to get revenues, the concrete data on revenue, sales and marketing, whatever is this? Okay. Is your business moving in the market, or it's moving only within a closed knit circle of the executives? Okay. So that is the thing that we need to know. So okay, so there is some issue in the voice. Do you guys have any problem? And you are concerned about the business continuity. You have a relationship with your client and you are concerned about the business continuity, right? Business continuity, it is easier to retain a client than to get a new client. You agree or not? About you are a project manager and you are concerned about business continuity. Why you are concerned about business continuity? Because getting a new client is difficult than retaining an already existing client, right? So it is better to make sure that your existing clients are happy and they are giving you repeat businesses. Okay. So in that context, you have this situation. The situation is that your customer has given you some requirement and you are the project manager. You fulfill the requirement and the customer has given you the signed off in most of the features. I repeat, in most of the features, the customer has given you the sign off. Okay. Now, near the end of the project, the customer comes to you with a surprise. And the surprise is that, hey, I am very sorry, but one of my requirement was wrong. I understand that there is no issue from your side. It was an issue from my side, but I want you to help. And when you drill deeper into this situation, you found out that it will require you to extend the project by at least one more iteration before you can fulfill that new requirement. So the extension is there, one more iteration extension would be required. Now the question is, will you accept this change request at the 11th hour or not?
Yeah, I'll definitely accept the changes, but we'll discuss on the scope also.
Okay. Okay, so definitely you will accept the, I mean, you'll talk about the financials, but the first thing is that you need to accommodate that change, even if that change is at the 11th hour, and you need to extend the time duration. Okay.
But
so
for that and cost.
Yes, obviously time and cost, both definitely. Yeah. That will be there. But the more important point is that, will you respond to the change or not? So the mindset or the business mindset says that you need to respond to the change.
Yeah, definitely.
It is better for your business continuity. Okay. Now think about agile projects from the perspective of the differences between what are the different kind of projects which can be an agile project, and what are the different things that cannot be an agile project. For example, suppose industrial works. So you have the requirements very clear. You need to make, suppose, a laptop. So your requirement is clear. Your specifications are very clear. Your manufacturing process is also standardized, because globally laptops are manufactured. at several places, and you can simply benchmark the best practices and you adopt it. So in that case, the processes are structured and tightly controlled. The more you automate, the better the output you will get. But if you are working on a knowledge work project, for example, a marketing campaign or a software development, okay, or a research project, okay, any of these things would require more of autonomy to the people who are doing it. Okay, the people should be given the power and autonomy so that they can improvise, because there is no standard thing. You cannot Google it. How to make a software, you cannot Google it. Okay, so nowadays you can Google probably how to make a website or how to, but again, with that Google would be, your requirement may not be fulfilled 100% of the time. Okay, so it is more about the people and their skill set and their ability to improvise in different situations. Okay, so on one hand, in industrial projects, people are considered as a cost and there is a huge emphasis on automation. But on knowledge work projects, people are considered as assets. And once they are considered as asset, the entire behavior or entire orientation of HR and the business people changes. Okay. With respect to the nature of work, in industrial work, the work is defined. It is visible. You can see the moving parts. Okay, physically see and go and inspect. Okay, but in knowledge work, the task itself is fluid. Whatever you are saying and whatever you mean may be different. Okay, there is a gulf of evaluation always present in knowledge work projects. So there is a need to inculcate shared understanding or shared vision of the project again and again among the team members. With respect to performance, in industrial work, the focus is on quantity because quality is by default, it's given. Because the quality of the product is ensured because of the tight controls in the systems and processes. If the systems and processes are foolproof, the quality is given. So what is not given? So the not given thing is quantity. Is it the same in knowledge work project? Can you ensure quality of the project if your team is working 40 hours in a week? Yes or no? Ensuring 40 hours of work in a week would guarantee the quality of the product. Yes or no?
No.
No, right? So performance is, when we talk about performance, we focus on quality of the product. And when we talk about quality, we talk about value delivery. Okay. So knowledge work projects are the projects which are more suitable for agile mindset, and agile methodologies are applied on knowledge work project, and all kind of professions, engineers, teachers, IT experts, SMEs, doctors, writers, and the list goes on. All these kind of people can use agile mindset, values, and principle to work effectively in their respective domains. Okay. Now, the thing is, now I'm just summarizing the thing that I just discussed, that if the requirements are not precise and the process is also not certain, nature of work is knowledge work, then the right approach would be to use agile projects. Okay. So if the process uncertainty is low, requirement uncertainty is also low, you can use predictive. For example, think about construction of a building. Do you know the requirement? Perfectly, yes. I know the requirement to the last details, right? Which color of tiles I will put in my kitchen, I know that before the start of the construction of the building, right? So that level of precision is already known. But can you say the same thing for an IT software development project? Think about a a SaaS tool, which will evaluate the employee engagement in an organization. How would it look like? Can you envision anything about this requirement? Can you draw parallel? Probably yes, vaguely. But can you draw exact parallel? Can you show me the exact thing what you want to have in this kind of product? Probably the answer is no. Okay, so if that level of uncertainty is there in requirement and process, then we cannot use the predictive approach. Okay, so the second thing is, if think about the second part, if you have the requirement uncertainty is high, but the process uncertainty is low. Okay, so you know how to go about it. For example, think about your own career. Okay, you don't know what you, or suppose you don't know what you want to become, or what kind of thing your life would turn at you eventually. You don't know. So the requirement uncertainty is high. Okay, but the process uncertainty is low, because you know that today you need to complete your schooling. After that, you need to complete your college. After that, you need to complete your X, Y, and Z. So the steps, the first immediate step, you already know. So the better thing is you take the first step and get to some point, and then see what is the next best step you can take in that direction. Okay, the completely opposite thing. Suppose the process uncertainty is very high and the requirement uncertainty is low. Okay, so you vaguely know what you want to do. Okay, or you vaguely know what kind of suppose you are making a painting, so you vaguely know you are making a portrait or you are making a scene. Okay, so if you are making a portrait, so you vaguely know who is the person whose portrait you are trying to make. Okay, but the process is not known, where to start. Okay, so what you will do is you will use iterative approach to this. You will do something, you will see whether this is going in the right direction or not, and then you will take the course correction. So agile projects are those projects in which you have to use those iterative and incremental approach together. Okay, so that is the projects for agile. Now agile is a mindset. We have seen this. It is more about the attitude which we have in a business scenario, in a project scenario. These are governed by values and guided by principles, and these mindset are developed by practice. Okay, so it is manifested and developed through practice again and again. So we will discuss about all these things in greater detail in the subsequent sessions and in today's session also. So let's talk about first the values. What are the values of agile? So agile values comes from the manifesto for agile software development. Okay, in one of the posts I was looking at Reddit, people are very much possessive about this, the manifesto for agile software development. Okay, just try to think whether it is only for the software development. Why it has come to picture in this form? There is a lot of research which has been done in the software industry, and eventually the people has realized something based on the research. Okay, one of the prominent research is the COCOMO research, which we will talk in the subsequent sessions. That COCOMO research helps you to understand what can be the estimated price and or the cost and the duration of a software development project based on certain parameters. Okay, so if you see that this research gives 33% of weightage to people. If you have good people, your probability of achieving or successfully completing the project is high. If you don't have the good people or good talent, then the probability of failure is more. So 30%, 33% of weightage is given to the individuals. So the first agile values talk about giving more importance to individuals and interaction over processes and tools. We saw it in our example as well. The second value is focusing on the business result, the thing that is actually giving value to the customer, the thing for which the customer is paying. Customer is actually paying for your software, the software which he or she is getting, not for the documentation. Documentation is just an add-on. Think about the laptop you are getting, or the tablet you are purchasing, or any other product you are purchasing. You are paying for the laptop only. If suppose somebody wants to sell a laptop with a price tag on laptop and a price tag on the box of the laptop, and you have a choice to pick and choose whatever combination you feel like, what most people would do? Think about it. What will you do? My instinct would say that I should only take the laptop and forget about the package, because anyway I'm going to throw the box. Okay. So we are, or our clients are actually paying for something which is valuable for the client. So in this case, in the case of software development, it is the working software. Then how a working software can be developed? So it needs to be developed through collaboration and not by contract negotiation. If you just compare and contrast with the traditional wisdom of doing business says that, hey, you need to be very rigid about your terms and conditions, because your supplier or your customer can pull your leg on any of these points. This is a conventional wisdom. Okay, but yes, that is true. I am not denying it, and this Agile manifesto is also not denying it. But what it is adding to this is that yes, while the legal issues and all these things are accepted, legal and commercial issues are accepted, what is more important for you to get repeat business is a collaboration and a good relationship with your client. If you are able to establish a good relationship with the customer, then you are expected to successfully deliver the project and continue to have a business relationship with the customer also, with the client. Okay. Then finally, you need to respond to change over following a plan. When we talk about responding to change, generally the conventional wisdom would put a flag on it, that if I begin to respond to change, how can I actually perform anything? Okay, think about it, that you are working on something and your boss comes to you and asks you to switch from that task to some other task. Is it annoying or not?
Yes.
It is annoying, right? Can you hear me?
Steven.
Yeah. So task switching is annoying. So similarly, when we are saying that, no, we need to respond to change over following a plan. So in our mind, we feel that how can we respond to change? So Agile mindset or Agile values has a very beautiful definition about it. How we can respond to change without getting annoyed. There is a provision, there is a guiding principle that helps us to understand that. So now let's switch our gears to understand how these things are topped up with the Agile principles. So there are 12 Agile principles. I have just listed it here. And in tomorrow's session, we will try to link these values with the guiding principles. So the linking is mostly missing. But once you link these two, you will be able to develop the mindset very easily. In most of the cases or scenarios, you will see these are the values, you just read it, understand it, and these are the principles, you read it and understand it. So the principle number 1 is tells you that we need to be focused on this thing, early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So the highest priority is to satisfy the customer. And how we can satisfy the customer? Through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. Principle number 2, it talks about welcoming changing requirements even late in development. So we have taken example that even in the latter stages of the development, we need to welcome the change and adjust our business strategy or business plan accordingly. Agile processes harness change for customers' competitive advantage, because we are focused to improve the customer's competitive advantage. Okay, because once our customer is happy, then only we are going to get more customers and more repeat business. Delivering working software frequently, from a couple of weeks to a couple of months, with a preference to shorter time scale. So when we talk about frequent delivery, we are talking about frequent delivery in shorter time span. Why is it that? We need to understand why there is a preference to the shorter time span. Any ideas? Any thought about it? Why there is a preference to shorter time span?
So that we can launch the product and get the feedbacks as early as possible.
Okay, partially correct.
And do the required changes to the product itself.
Yes. So partially correct. So the correct part is that so that we can get the feedback early. Remember that we are working on a project in which people are expected to have different understanding throughout the project, not only at the start of the project. Throughout the project, people are expected to have different understanding, and it is the role of the project scrum master or one particular role. There is a person who needs to make sure that that gap of understanding is minimized. How you can minimize that gap of understanding is by having frequent feedbacks. And when we understand and appreciate the need for a frequent feedback, it is better that frequency is as short as possible. Now then, when we are keeping it as short as possible, the time frame, we need to be practical at least, so that we can make something and get feedback. Okay. Next one is business people and developers must work together daily throughout the project. So business people and developers must work together. So when we talk about working together, what do you mean about this? Is it about like both should sit side by side? Or what is your understanding about it?
Working collaboratively.
Working collaboratively. Again, the idea is that when they are working together, the idea is that they should have a shared vision all the time. So whatever the business people are thinking, the developer should also be thinking the same. And in order to get the two type of people on the same page, there are different arrangements in agile projects. So one of the arrangement is 3 C's. Okay, 3 C of a user story. What it says, what it talks about. It talks about card, conversation, and confirmation. When we are talking about conversation, we are deliberately keeping the minimum amount of information on the card. We are not writing the details about the requirement. Okay, the details are there in the mind of the people. Details are there with the person who is expected to have the detail, and the two people who should work together to make the product. Okay, then the next one is build project around motivated individuals, give them environment and support they need, and trust them to get the job done. When we talk about building the project around motivated individual, this first part of this principle itself is very powerful. It is clearly saying that you need to first build the team and then select the project. First build the team and then select the project. So that is a very powerful message that is given. So building a project around motivated individual. So typically what happens is, if a team is successful in an agile project, typically the same team would get another project, another agile project, and with minimum changes in the team orientation. So people like to work with each other, and if they are gelling well with each other, the businesses have the incentive to not disturb that harmony. Okay, it helps them to perform better. Okay, we will have a even better discussion tomorrow on how it relates to the agile value. Okay, the most efficient and effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face conversation. So why face-to-face conversation? Think about it. Why not WhatsApp communication, and why not Slack communication? Think about it. See, one thing that you need to be very, very clear to get certified in PMI ACP is that whatever you do in your project may not be the ideal thing. Remember, whatever you do in the project, in your agile project, may not be the ideal thing. So whatever we are talking in the discussion is the ideal situation. So I will push you to question the practices which you are already doing, and probably which is not in sync with the ideal thing. We are not ideal people. Nobody is ideal. So, but there is a rule book everywhere. When you go to school, you get a rule book. When you go to when you join a company, you get a rule book. Do everybody follow all the points in the rule book? No. So the certification will test your knowledge of the rule book. Test your understanding of the ideal situation. So the ideal situation is to do face-to-face communication. The ideal situation is co-location. The ideal situation is to become low tech, okay, and high touch. The ideal situation is to use pen and paper. The ideal situation is to use physical cards. Okay, so that is the ideal situation. So why face-to-face communication is the point that is one of the guiding principle of Agile. Any thoughts about it?
Because it is a most effective way to communicate.
Okay, it is the most effective way to communicate. Now, just I am giving you a live example. When I am switching on my camera and when I am not switching on my camera, do you feel a difference of information that you are getting?
Yes.
What is the difference?
Like I can see the body language and expressions.
Exactly. So when we are conveying the information can be communicated or conveyed in different ways and forms. So one form is whatever is written in this. Okay. Why are you joining an interactive session for preparation of PMI ACP? Why are people not completing UDEMY classes or Coursera classes? The completion rate is just 5% or even less than that. There are there is no doubt about the pedigree of the instructor, right? But still people are not completing. Why? Because most people will not be able to connect to the instructor. So the face-to-face conversation helps you to connect with the people, to connect to the thought process and attitude or the values of the person you are interacting. When you are connecting with the values of the person, when the values of two person in your team matches, then magic happens. So face-to-face conversation is stressed upon so that people can get more and more opportunities to build their social capital or build their connect with other person. or other members of the team. So there are different ways the entire agile projects are designed so that this is facilitated. Okay. Now, working software is the primary measure of progress. If you just try to generalize it for any business, then business result is the primary measure of progress. So whatever is the business result that is the primary measure of the progress, and everything else is secondary. All kind of documentation, all kind of gyan, all kind of presentation, everything is secondary. The first thing is, are we doing the right thing? Are we getting the right results or not? Agile processes promote sustainable development. The sponsors, developers, and users should be able to maintain a constant pace indefinitely. Again, relating it to the agile principle which I just discussed, that team is made first, and then the project is given to the team, is awarded to the team, and the team is expected to work infinitely or indefinitely in different kind of agile projects. Same project, maybe different kind of agile projects also. Okay, so a sustainable pace is required. So burnout is avoided. Okay, stretching of the team is avoided. Okay, continuous attention to technical excellence is good, and good design enhance agility. If you have better technical expertise, your team would be better equipped to address any of the requirements of the client. So technical attention on technical excellence is very important in any agile projects. Simplicity, the art of maximizing the work not done, is essential. Maximizing the work not done in. If you think about it, maximizing the work not done, it is very, very essential, because when we are stressing on responding to change, we cannot respond to change practically. This is a completely absurd statement. Respond to change than following a plan. We are by default people who follow plans. We have plan for the day, we have plan for the week, we have plans for the month, we have plan for our life, we have plan for our business. We are people who want to follow plan in our personal life and our professional life both. But when it comes to agile principles or agile mindset, the guiding principle says that you need not to follow the plan. Rather, you need to be agile and accept the changes. But at the same time, when the values talks about this, the principles actually complements it with a detail. The detail is that you need not to work on whatever you have accepted till the last responsible moment. So the solution to that conundrum or that dilemma is that don't do anything, just accept the plan. Become a yes man. See, we always joke about it, but it is an agile principle. It's an agile mindset. Become a yes man is an agile mindset. You need to say yes to everything and anything you are getting. But who is asking you to work on it? Nobody. Anybody is asking you to work on it? No. Customer is asking you to work on it? No. But when customer says, I want this, if you say no, you cannot do it upfront, it will pain the customer most, and you may lose the business, you may lose your project, may get delayed, and all kind of bad things can happen. So say yes, but don't do it. Then why are you saying yes? Because you will do it at the last responsible moment only. Okay, that is what it means when we talk about maximizing the work not done. Okay, so keep on creating a long list of backlogs and don't worry about it. Best architecture, requirements, and design emerge from self-organizing teams. Again, who are the people who know about the technology, who know what to do, Think about the entire pool of people who are working on a project, software development project. Okay. The sponsors can make the project alone. Yes or no? Yes or no? Can the sponsors make
No.
the project alone? They cannot make the product, right? The Scrum Master or the product owner can make the product. Product owner can make the product. Yes or no? No.
No.
Right. So who is the person who can make the product? Who is replaceable and who is not replaceable? My point is that who is replaceable? You have a team, you have a group of people. Who is replaceable in that? Easily replaceable is the person who are the people who are actually not making the product. They can be relatively easily replaceable, right? Scrum Master can be easily replaceable. Product owner can be easily replaceable. Okay. But the team is the one which we need to take care of the most. And that team can perform the best when they are self-organizing. We'll talk about different virtues of a high-performing team and the dysfunctions of a team. Under which condition team can perform better, under which condition team can underperform or even fail. We'll talk about these things in our teams domain. Okay. And the last one is at regular interval, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjust their behavior accordingly. So when you're telling your subordinate that, hey, you are free to do whatever you want to do, whatever you feel like you do as your wish, then you need to be very careful that they are improving also. They are identifying their own problems also, their own pitfalls also. And then they're working on it and improving upon that. So Agile principle says that on one hand, you empower the team, and on the other hand, you make the arrangement that so that that team can retrospect. The team can think about or reflect about their own actions and improve in the future. Okay. So with this, we have come to the break. In Agile project management is different from traditional project management in different ways, in many ways. But we are trying to just map it, just establish a vague relationship between Agile project management and traditional project management. So any idea about how traditional project management works? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, kind of thing. It starts with PMP guys here. Any idea? You definitely have the idea. You are the pro in that. So how traditional project management works? What are the steps?
It starts with the requirements gathering.
Yes. So it starts with planning, right? Or initiation. Before planning, it's initiation. That is called the requirement gathering is kind of initiation. Okay. So that initiation is there. Okay. After that, we have planning. And then we have execution. And after execution, we have monitoring and controlling, which is actually throughout the project. And then finally the closing. Okay. So these 4 steps or 5 steps, which we have, which are well known to most of the people who are working in projects. Let's try to map Agile project management to this. We cannot completely map it, but let's try it something. So during initiation, we will create vision, we will find out values, and we will prepare the charter. Okay. Once it is done, we will go to the planning stage. In that planning stage, what we'll do is we'll create the product backlog, we'll create sprint backlog. Okay. And then this planning is over. After planning, we go to the execution. In the execution stage, what we do is we will set the sprint goal and we do the daily scrum and we will carry out the reviews. Okay. Then we have the monitoring and controlling stage, which is about taking feedbacks and retrospectives. And then finally, we have closing and we have a closing retrospective also. And lesson learned kind of a report which we make. Okay, so this is how the different stages of a project, of a traditional project, can be mapped to the agile projects. Okay, what is different in agile project is that this you can consider as a one way or once through kind of a cycle in traditional project, but in agile projects it's a repetitive, it's a iterative cycle, it's a loop. Okay, after closing we again go to the planning and then execution, then monitoring, closing, again planning, execution, monitoring, and closing, and finally we close the project. Okay, so in the initiation stage we begin with the product vision. So what is a product vision? Product vision is a grand statement about the expected product. So for example, one example can be, suppose think of this Zoom software which we have. Okay, what can be the vision of this Zoom software? The vision can be very simple, that the vision of this product is to facilitate online meetings. Suppose think about example when the Zoom started with only the meetings, simple plain vanilla meetings. So online meetings can be facilitated on Zoom platform. So the vision is to make a platform to facilitate online meetings between any two persons sitting anywhere in the world. That is the product vision. When we talk about product vision, we need to understand who are the people who can benefit from this vision. If you make this product, who will be get benefited? What is the value that this vision is going to give to different kind of people? Okay, we are making any product for people, right? So what are the vision, what are the values we are going to give to different people, maybe customer, maybe supplier, maybe government agencies, maybe anybody. So what are we going to give to them with this product vision? So the second thing is we need to understand the values which will emerge or which will be created if we invest time, money, and effort on this particular product, right? Then once the product value is clear, we prepare a charter that who will deliver this value to the intended customer, how the value delivery will happen, when it will happen. All these kind of questions should be answered in agile projects. What will be the benefit or return on investment for the company who is sponsoring it? Okay, what will be the time frame? All these questions should be discussed in project charter. So we start with a vision. For example, for Zoom, the vision was to facilitate discussions, online discussions between any two persons sitting anywhere in the world. Okay, this is a vision. With that vision, the product value emerges. The value for businesses is that they can connect their teams they can work with distributed teams. That is one thing. The second thing, value for students, is that they can attend their lecture classes. Value for say two person. Okay, think about this Zoom at the time when there was no other alternative for online or face-to-face communication. Suppose the WhatsApp was not there. Just imagine that WhatsApp is not there. Then people may use Zoom for personal calls also, right? Because one-to-one call is free, video call is free. So people may use it for personal calls also. So the thing is that these are the values. Now, among these values, which are the values that the company or the Zoom company is trying to focus on, and then design the product accordingly. Okay, so we start with the vision, identify the values, and when we identify the values, we also identify the value for whom, and then we list out the people, the values which are most important, and then with that most important value, keeping in mind, we prepare the project charter. Okay, once the charter is ready, we move on to the planning. Okay. So we move on to the planning. So planning is like creating the backlog. Backlog means how those values can be delivered to the intended recipients or customers or users. The best word is users. So value delivered to the users. How we can do that? So the how part becomes the product backlog. For example, again coming back to the Zoom example, suppose Zoom wanted to facilitate this official meeting between two participants, okay, between suppose a instructor or a coach and the participants. Okay, this is the value for participant, that they can attend any of the lectures sitting at the comfort of their home. That is one value. The value for the lecturer is, or the tutor is, that he or she can deliver the lecture to a wider audience pool. Okay, this is a great value. I am already delivering something, but if Zoom would not be there, my reach would be restricted to the locality in which I am living. Now it's a great value that I'm getting via Zoom, that I am able to reach out to people sitting anywhere in the world. This is one thing. Keeping this value in mind, what do I want from Zoom? What are the features I want from Zoom? The first feature that I want from the Zoom is, from Zoom company or this product, is that I should be able to share my screen. Agree? I should be able to share my screen. This is one of the features that I need to have in this product backlog. Similarly, for the participants, if you think about from the perspective of the participant would need something to interact with the tutor without interrupting the tutor during the lecture. And that is why we have a chat box. Again, a different value for the end user. Think about another example. As a tutor, I want to have a review of how I performed. And as a user or as a student, you want to have a cross-reference of the session you attended. So we have a recording feature. Understand? So all these things are actually emerging from the value which the product wants to deliver. And once we are talking about value and identifying the features, we are always keeping in mind the end user of that value. Okay, so this list of features becomes the product backlog. Okay, now we have a long list of backlog. Can we do it all together parallelly? No. So what we can do it in small chunks, and that small chunk become a sprint backlog. So a part of it becomes a sprint backlog. Now think about that small part. That small part which we are talking about is sprint as a sprint backlog has a goal. It cannot be just anything, right? It has a goal. Okay, so it needs to fulfill some goal. Suppose the first goal or first feature would be a sign up feature. Okay, so the goal is to facilitate the users to onboard into that Zoom product or platform. Okay, so onboarding feature can be the first sprint goal, and with that goal we need to identify the features which will fulfill that goal. And now we have the daily stand-up meetings to prepare that features or to actually make the product. Once the product is ready for demonstration, we conduct a sprint review meeting in which all the stakeholders are invited to see how it looks and feel. So the look and feel is very important. There is a very, very interesting term in Agile which is called ikiwishi. I know it when I see it. So in most cases, the requirements evolve when the customer sees something in front of their eyes. So that is why, that is one of the reason why we have sprint reviews. Once the review is accepted or the increment is accepted, the iteration is accepted, it becomes increment. And then a set of these increments would become a release. So this is how the Agile works. Now coming on to the major roles in Agile. So we have a product owner, which is a customer representative. We have a facilitator and a team. So you think about it in a very simple terms. Product owner is a person who is responsible to deal with external people. Product owner is a person who is expected to deal with external stakeholders. Facilitator is a person who is expected to deal with internal stakeholders. Who is the internal stakeholder? Internal stakeholders are team, including product owner. Okay. So all the stakeholders who are internal to the team are expected to be dealt and taken care of by facilitator. All the stakeholders who are external to the project team need to be taken care of by product owner. What are the different roles? The first role of product owner is to maximize the return on investment, determine the product features. What are the features that means to prepare the backlog and therefore the features, prioritize the list, which one is more important, which one is less important, and refine the list, add more information to it, okay, add granularity to it, and ensure the shared vision. Whatever he has downloaded from the customer should be again shared with the team, and that shared understanding is very, very important because otherwise there will be a gulf of evaluation. He or she thinks something, understands something, the customer is expecting something, product owner is understanding something, and team is doing something else. To avoid that, product owner and team should work collaboratively and ensure that there is a shared understanding between the two. Then we have facilitator. Facilitator learn and apply the Agile methodologies. They are the custodian of the Agile. Okay, they advocate Agile to the team. They advocate the benefits of Agile methodology to the sponsors and everybody and all the stakeholders of the project. They consistently communicate that, hey, you are doing wrong. It's better to do this than this. Okay, but the facilitator has to facilitate it, not push it. That is the different. That is why it is called facilitator, not a manager. Okay, there is no Agile manager. There is Agile facilitator, because the role of this person is to facilitate a change in mindset in the people who are working in software development project. Okay, remove impediments to the team and ensure that the team is working collaboratively and effectively. Protect from interferences. Help the team adopt Agile practices. If the team member does not know it, does not understand why something is important, why face-to-face is important, why using cards are important, why stand-up is important. So the role of facilitator is to make sure that everybody understand and appreciate that these are the essential part. You will not find anything non-essential in the entire Agile thing. There is no ornament hanging in Agile processes. Okay, so this is not ornamental. Ornaments or gold plating is avoided in Agile projects. Okay, we use this term Scrum Master, Project Manager, or Agile Coach interchangeably with the word facilitator throughout the project and in the exam as well. So in PMI ACP exam, do not get confused when you see this word Agile Facilitator, Agile Scrum Master, or simply Scrum Master, or Project Manager, or Agile Coach, or Project Lead also. All these terms mean the same thing. Okay. Now we have the team. The team works to build the product. The team is self-organized, empowered, cross-functional, and they assist PO in backlog prioritization. These are just high-level things. We will talk in great detail in the team's domain about all these different roles. Okay. So this is a high level understanding. Understanding of who is responsible for what is important. And there will be many questions in the exam which will test your understanding of who is responsible for what. Okay. So the best response in those questions are not to pick an answer choice which promotes overriding somebody's authority or somebody's responsibility. Supporting is different, overriding is different. So supporting is always encouraged, overriding is not encouraged at all. Okay. Now, where the Agile started, from where Agile actually emerged. So Agile emerged from lean thinking. So practically, if you see, Agile is a adoption of lean thinking, which was started in Toyota manufacturing units. So that lean thinking, when adopted to software development projects, becomes something which is popularly known as Agile. So it all starts with lean thinking. Then there is a subset of it which is Agile, and there is a intersection thing which we use in software development, which is Kanban, which is again Agile and lean mixed. Okay. Within Agile, we have different frameworks, and we will talk about all these frameworks in some minor detail or good detail in the training program. What is lean thinking? So lean thinking again relies on some very, very basic and very impactful ideas. So what are those impactful ideas? The first idea is that, hey, we should be focusing on delivering value. When we talk about delivering value, don't do anything which is not valuable. So minimize waste. Okay. So this is the idea of respecting people. Respect for people who are doing even the most simplest job. The person who is opening your gate. Imagine, I'm just pushing you to think. Think about a person who is a guard, who is a gatekeeper in your organization. Now you are approaching the office and your gatekeeper is denying you to open the gate. Can you overrule that person? Think about it. Can you just come out of your car and open the gate on your own? Any answer? I expect some kind of, at least little bit of collaboration.
Yes, if some person is not there and it needs to be done, yes, I will go and do it.
No. I'm not saying that the person is there. Person is saying, and he is just simply saying that I cannot open the gates because I have orders. Can you go and open the gate on your own?
No, then we can't directly override the person, because
yes,
he is with a role, he is performing his duty.
Yes, he's performing his duty. So that is the respect for people. You cannot go and fight with him. You cannot start screaming on that person because he's a gatekeeper. He is just following his duty. He is not disrespecting you by not opening the gate. He is only following the orders. So everybody is important. Each and every role in the team and the organization is important. And it is the thought process of lean thinking that we need to respect the person. We need to minimize the waste. We need to be transparent. When we talk about transparency, it is not like you talk about everything to everybody. Okay. Transparency means whatever level of information is required for somebody to perform his or her duty easily and effectively should be given to them. Okay. And that is why we have different kind of visual charts, which we use in lean also. If you go to Toyota manufacturing units, or even if The simplest version, if you go and visit your Toyota manufacturing or your Toyota car workshop, where you give your car on routine basis for say servicing, you go and visit the workshop. It is all visual. Okay, so that level of transparency should be there. Okay. Then adapting to change. It is again a thinking of, it's a lean thinking which is adopted by Agile, and continuous improvement. So these are the philosophies or ideas, simple ideas that has profoundly changed the way we think about manufacturing. It has helped Toyota to become a giant, and it has spilled over to other manufacturing units as well. Now, in 2000s or even before that, it has spilled over to the software development as well. Now let's have a small project so that we can understand how it works. So suppose Jeff Bezos has this vision of selling everything online, and he don't know, because he is not a techie, he does not know how to do it, how to make this kind of a product. So he hires you as an advisor, and he asks you to prepare the vision of the product and plan the execution of this. How would you do that? Okay. So the first thing is starting with the vision. We already know that. So the Agile project starts with the vision. In this case, let us first write down the vision of this project. What is the vision of this product? What is the vision of Amazon? We have taken already one example. Zoom I have already taken, so it should be fairly simple question to you. What is the vision of Amazon?
Be an online marketplace.
The vision of Amazon is to become an online marketplace. Okay. Okay. Little more. So it is. So for one thing is that vision should always be very grand. That is why it's vision. It's not objective. Vision is a grand statement which will thrill the people who are working on this. The moment you read this line or this vision, you will say, wow, maja aa gaya. If I am part of this, then it will be a great matter of pride for me. The vision should make you feel proud about it. That yes, you are giving, or you are contributing your time. Your time is most important. You're contributing your time to something which is really valuable. Okay, so vision should be very grand statement. So let's make a grand statement. What can be online marketplace is not grand. Maja nahi aaya. Let's make a grand statement. You can speak, you can share your ideas in the chat box also, not an issue.
Delivery products to the customer.
Make it grand. Deliver product to the customer is again maja nahi aaya. Everybody is delivering product to the customer. How can you make it grand? Let's start with this. Deliver product to customers. Okay, make it grand. If I just add one word, deliver product to customers worldwide. Is it better? It is bigger. It is bigger, right? Just one word I have added.
Yes.
Now let's make it even more bigger. Deliver any product to customer worldwide. It is bigger than that. Deliver any product to any customer worldwide, even bigger than that. Okay. Right now, what else? Deliver any product to any customer worldwide at least amount time, suppose, or I just simply write this worldwide quickest. You word this, add this. Okay, delete this. So deliver any product to any customer worldwide in quickest time possible. Okay. So whatever is humanly possible, I will try to do that. Is it a now is it looking grand?
Yes.
Right. So vision is a grand statement. Now let's look at the vision of Amazon. This is the Amazon's vision. To be Earth's most customer centric. We have not talked about the customer experience. They have talked about customer experience as well. To become Earth's most customer centric company, where customer can find and discover anything they might want to buy. So the thing that to be noted is, it should be very, very grand. It should fill you with pride and enthusiasm and energy. Okay, so once you have this vision in mind, now the second step was to identify the value. Who will find value in this? How this product is going to create value, and what value this product would create. Okay, if you create a product which is Earth's most customer centric product, where customer can find and discover anything they might want to buy online. If this is the vision of a product, what are the values? Who will get value from it? Okay, think about it. So we have Amazon as a product, and then we have Amazon's customer. Okay, so for Amazon, who is the customer? The person who buys the product is also a customer. The person who sells the product is also a customer. Right? Agree?
Yeah, agree.
So
Yeah.
you have buyers and you have sellers. So buyers and sellers. So when we are talking about value, we need to think about value for whom? Value for buyers, value for sellers. Then Amazon needs to have value for somebody else also. Maybe the legal agencies. Okay. Maybe the government.
Marketing.
Okay. Maybe the other businesses who are not selling or buying the product. Are you advertising on Amazon? You can advertise on Amazon as well, right?
Yes.
You can get
Yes.
some more information, about buying and selling pattern of consumers from Amazon. That can help you to establish your new business, probably online or offline. So it can be valuable for other businesses as well. So value for whom is the first thing that you need to think about. Then when you talk about, when we have already understood this, then the next level would be what value the buyers will get, the sellers will get, these people will get. So buyers will get what? Access to wide customer base, right? Buyer will get ease of delivery. Oh, sorry, this is sellers. Okay. Then sellers will get ease of delivery. Okay. Seller can see the insights of trending products. Have you ever explored this feature? Amazon tells you what product is selling the most. And thus, yeah, to the sellers, yes. And thus the seller can change their selling pattern. Means they can see the overall trend, means generalized trend as well. So may not be related to their product, then they can adjust their business offerings. Similarly, for buyers, easy comparison. Okay. Hey, you should also contribute. I can so this I already know. I am doing it for fourth time now. Okay, so these are the things. So these are the things that this process is important. Try to understand why I'm pushing you to think and understand and assimilate this process, because this will help you to channelize your thoughts in the exam. So you should be very clear that it all starts with vision, then it goes to values, identifying the values. When we talk about values, values cannot dangle in the free air. Dangling values are probably needs to be avoided. We always have to associate that value to a user. Okay, so who is a user? So we need to first understand the user, and then we need to see what that user wants from that product. Once we know that, suppose the seller wants the access to a wide base customer, what features that product should incorporate so that this value is addressed, or the seller is getting this value. Okay, so you need to click something, see something, get some reports, or do something, or interact with the seller so that the seller feels that he is getting a wider customer base than the traditional way of doing business. Okay, so this is how the value is. Once the value is identified, you need to understand how you can inculcate those values in the product. So you have some guiding principles sometimes. So generally businesses do not think about it much, but Amazon has thought about it in greater detail. For example, when you talk about the value, suppose we are talking about a value of, going back to the previous slide, when we talk about the customer-centric company, so anything and everything about the customer for the benefit of the customer. So we have a value of customer obsession. So any decision that you take in the company while executing or developing the product, you should always be thinking from the perspective of the customer. You should always be thinking from the perspective of the customer. Whether your decision would delight the customer or disturb the customer. If the answer is the delight the customer, then only you take the decision, otherwise you do not take the decision. This is how the values and principles are linked. Okay, now the same kind of thing is already there in Agile. When we talk about Agile Manifesto and values and principles, we need to relate it. We need to connect those things and then try to see what these two things together is giving to the businesses. Okay, That is the topic for the tomorrow session. Now we need to list down the features.